Unless you are the Buddha or Jesus or some other enlightened being, we are all toxic at moments in our lives. We all have imperfections, and we all occasionally don't respond with our most loving, kind, compassionate selves. And so people are not either toxic or not toxic. We all have varying degrees, and we all have our moments. And so the question really is, in a relationship that is full of fighting, negativity, toxic behaviors, is there a awareness in both parties of this toxic component? And is there an intention to transform that toxicity into something healthy? And that is really the most important two aspects when feeling like you're in a toxic relationship. If there is no awareness and no intention for improvement, there is almost certainly going to be no transformation of that dynamic. With awareness and intention, all things are possible. We can all make huge change, and toxic relationships can become very healthy as both parties grow and evolve and become their greatest selves. If one party sees no problem and has no intention to change, it may be the best thing to remove oneself from any kind of abuse or unhealthy relationship. And when we do that, it's first and foremost, get safe. No one should be in harm's way. We all need to protect ourselves physically and emotionally. It's very important to recognize that there may be trauma. There may be a lot of stress and tension and fear that we hold on to that needs to be processed so that we can let go. Because we can feel when we've gotten out of a toxic relationship that everybody is toxic, that every relationship will be this way, that we don't deserve a healthy, loving relationship. And that is just not true. And it is so important that we recognize our self-worth, which is invaluable, infinitely important, and that we all deserve loving, healthy relationships. So once we have gotten out of a toxic relationship that we felt just wasn't a good place to be, it's vitally important that we do what is the hardest thing, and always the thing we run away from, the thing we avoid, is usually that thing we need to do the most, which is to develop forgiveness. And this does not mean telling an abuser or an ex that we forgive them. This is an internal process only. This is a letting go of anger, hatred, fear, and resentment, and simply allowing for love and peace back into our lives. We don't have to go back to that person. We don't have to invite them over for the holidays or for tea. We simply give ourselves permission to let go of that tension, that toxicity, and that stress response that we developed in that relationship. And the way we do that is by recognizing that it's there and giving it our love and kindness, because that is how we heal. And we almost treat it like an entity within us. That trauma, that toxicity that we really do hold on to in our physical body, and be incredibly loving and patient with it. We don't get mad at it. We don't resent it or resist it. We simply cradle it in our loving energy. And in doing so, that loving light heals all darkness. And it is so important that we give ourselves time, that we're patient, and allow ourselves that healing process. And it is a journey, and we must love even the journey. And the more we can be in that state of love, that we can look at that thing we hated with love, then we can get out of that hole. Then we can be okay even when things aren't okay. And this is that powerful effect that love has. We don't need a partner for that love. We can just love ourselves, and we can sit in that space of love. And the more we do that, the more we recognize that that toxic relationship, those hurtful things that were said about us, do not matter when we love ourselves fully, and we don't have to believe those words any longer. And it is so important that we recognize every way that a toxic relationship affected us, and that we love ourselves in spite of those words, and that we tap into a greater intuitive knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is that we are all beings of pure love. And despite how society can obscure that light, we can peel back those layers and allow ourselves to reconnect with that source of love inside of us, which is the source of all life. And it is really essential to healing ourselves and even how we can heal others. If we happen to be in a relationship where both parties recognize that there is this toxic element, then both parties, when they set that intention for love, they can lift the other when they're down, and they can, through each other's love, rise out of all of the pain and trauma that they've experienced in their separate lives, and a beautiful flowering of healing, loving energy can emerge. And it's great when we have a partner, but we can also do it alone. We are all that inner light, and we can really get through anything. We simply have to sit in that presence of love. Love for the universe, love for ourselves. And the more that love shines, the more we can dissolve those barriers and layers that are obscuring that light. Just like when a therapist, either in couples therapy or in individual therapy, will have us explore what has caused this trauma and this toxicity to occur. We can really delve into our own history and our own experiences that have created these masks in the first place. And we can, just by looking at them in ourselves, in our relationships, and in our partners, by looking at them with love and intense love and full acceptance, we can really shatter those walls that are obscuring our true nature, our true loving, powerful energy. And we can heal from toxicity, and even in our relationships. We have to love those demons. And just like our parents might have said, kill them with kindness. Equally true with our inner shadows.